Hello Math West peeps. Today we're going to be reviewing inequalities. There's going to be at least 2 or 3 videos for this section. I'm just going to break it up, so make sure you watch all the videos. The first section is, it says, what will you do if x is on the right side of the inequality sign? So what we want to do here is we're going to rewrite the problem and we're going to move x to the left side. So here we have a number increased by 7 is greater than 12. So we're going to flip it, but when you want to flip it, you want to make sure you keep the sign the same. So we're going to say a number increased by 7 is greater than 12. So now we've moved the variable to the left side of the inequality. It makes it much easier to solve that way, but we haven't changed the situation in the inequality because right here it says a number increased by 7, and we wrote that here, a number increased by 7. We're going to draw our line. And now we located our variable, which is on the left-hand side, and next to that is a positive 7. So we're going to subtract 7 from both sides. Minus 7 would be 0. That cancels out. And then 12 minus 7 would be 5. And I did not need to do an equal sign there. It would be x needs to be greater than 5. Y'all are going to accidentally do that. So go back and double check that you have your inequality sign and not an equal sign and that it's going the correct way. So now if we're going to graph this, we know that x is greater than 5. So I'm going to put 5 on my number line. And it's going to be greater than, so we're going to say 6, 7, 8. But it is not equal to, so I'm going to do an open circle. And then let's look at which way the inequality is pointing. It's pointing to the right. If I make an arrow out of that, that means my arrow is going to the right. So to make this statement true, x would have to be 6, 7, or 8. Because if it is 5, 5 plus 7 is 12. And to make this inequality a true statement, to make it greater than 12, it would have to be 6, because 6 plus 12. Yes, because 7 plus 6 is 13. 7 plus 7 is 14. Okay, our next one. So again, this is a number increased by 2 is less than. So I'm going to write a number increased by 2 is less than 64. If you look at the sign, and if I write it, the greater than sign is going to the 64, and the less than and equal to is going towards the 2. And I set that up the same way here. And draw my line. This is multiplying. The opposite of multiplying is we're going to divide both sides of the inequality by 2 to balance it out. 2 divided by 2 is 1x. I'm going to keep my inequality is less than or equal to 64 divided by 2 is 32. Now I'm going to graph. So if x is less than or equal to 32, so we have 32, 31, 30, 29. It is equal to, so we're going to shade it in, okay? It is equal to. Because if we plug 32 in there, 2 times 32 is 64, and that is equal to. My arrow, if I make this an arrow on my inequality, My arrow's pointing to the left, and I have proved that with my number line saying that x is less than or equal to 32. Our next one, a number divided by -3 is less than 22. So I'm going to say a number divided by -3 is less than 22. I'm going to draw my line. We are dividing here. X over -3. Remember, this line right here tells us to divide. The opposite of divide is multiply. The value on the left side of the inequality that's with the variable is -3. So we're going to multiply both sides by -3. Okay, remember the opposite part is the operation. You are keeping the -3. Now I have just put a -3. I have moved it across the inequality sign. When you do that, this is where we have to flip the inequality. When we played hangman yesterday, you must flip the inequality when you are either multiplying or dividing. I feel like my pen just froze. Let me go to plus, pictures, disconnect. Can I do drawing? Okay, I'm going to draw with my, okay, we're good. So, you flip it when you take a negative number when you're multiplying or dividing over the inequality sign. So now I flipped my inequality sign. -3 and positive, -3 and -3 cancel out. X is greater than 22 times -3 is a -66. So X has to be greater than -66. So now I'm going to graph 66 on my number line. Okay, I'm going to put 66, 67, 68, 69. It is not equal to, so I'm going to keep an open circle. Remember, we had to flip our inequality, and now it's pointing to the right. Oh, and I need to make these negative. -66, 67, 68, 69. Now if I come back and plug in, the x has to be greater than, let's plug 60, if I plug 67 into the variable, 67 divided by -3 is going to be less than 22.